Exactly, diversity is very important in Hollywood right now, but in the X-Men universe, since like Chris Claremont was always a big thing. Was that something important for you as Brazilian actors in Hollywood?
It's amazing. I think it's wonderful that we get the chance to play Latinos.
And also I was telling Elise, it's never been better to be an actor than now, because there's so many opportunities for not only Latinos, you know, Brazilians, all colors, all nationalities are welcome.
Yeah, and people recognize themselves. I think Diego Luna said a wonderful thing. He tweeted a story about when he did Star Wars, and he has his accent. Mm-hmm. And he retweeted a tweet of a dad that mentioned that his son looked at him and said, like, see, he has an accent like us. Mm-hmm. And that,
I love that
recognition of us on the screen, it's so important.
And what kind of research did you do for this movie? What can you tell me about your take on Sunspot, and what's the deal with Cecilia?
Before I got the part, I tried to read just 10 because I didn't want to get, you know, emotionally invested.
The new comics or the old ones?
From the first one, mm-hmm. I read the first 10, mm-hmm. and then once I got the part, I read them all, like 113. I don't know if those are all of the New Mutants, but I bought them all on eBay, the vintage versions. I read them all, and I was really adamant about, you know, I have to be faithful to Roberto as much as I can. He's Carioca, he's from Rio, he needs to play soccer, be a womanizer. He was abandoned by his family, and he comes from a really difficult background. You know, he was given everything, but there's also an empty space.
With Cecilia, I focused a lot on the comics. I read about it, but I mainly focused on what Josh wanted for the character, because we do the comics, but it's not 100% like loyal. So I read the comics as a fan and as curiosity, but I really connected with Josh to kind of like figure out what he wanted to create for this woman that is, you know, guiding these kids into this institution and into this world.
Fox recently took some risks with the X-Men franchise, with Logan and Deadpool, and it turned out really well. But a horror teen movie, it sounds bold and exciting. How did you manage to convince them to do a thing like this?
I had made Fault in Our Stars for Fox. I've known this guy since the day I was born almost. Our moms are best friends. So we had a comic book company when we were kids, and all we did was read Marvel Comics. We were huge fans. So, you know, we made Fox a comic book to kind of show them the movie that we wanted to make. And as far as it being a horror movie, that was sort of dictated by the material in the comics. The storyline that we're doing is from a very specific run of New Mutants, and it was dark and surreal and nightmarish and felt appropriate.
And what were your main influences? Because Stephen King meets John Hughes, meets Chris Claremont, sounds great, awesome.
We sort of love these movies set in institutions. So we use that as sort of a jumping off point to create a way to tell a New Mutant story.
And what can you tell us about New Mutants' connection with the rest of the X-Men universe without losing your jobs?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's set in present day, and it exists in the X-Men universe, same as
Deadpool and Logan
and
and all
the
that.
other characters. You know, what separated them from everyone else was that they were sort of outcasts. You know, they were, you know, they don't get along with with the rest of the kids at school.
They wouldn't fit very well into an X-Men team, is I guess what I would say.
And you guys pitched it as a trilogy, right?
Yeah.
And what can you tell us about that?
We just told Fox we wanted to do kind of a trilogy of X-Men horror films, and each one would explore kind of a different aspect of the horror genre. I'd say it is a horror movie, but it is still very much a superhero movie.
No gané la copa, porfa. Gracias.